When I used to be on the streets, you know, people would always sort of just judge you as being this, you know, either a drug addict or, you know, just being a scumbag that, you know, just living off the government, you know, all that sort of stuff. They don't actually realise that, you know, you do struggle.
Discrimination, rudeness and anger, I believe all comes from fear, and it's fear of the unknown.
4 times I got harassed by security guards at Spencer Street Station. 4 times I was carted away by security because I was lying down outside. I was just having a cup of coffee and lying down, and they get police to remove me, and then they had me carted away. I said it's a public place. They bashed me. Police bashed me at the police station.
Police are great for discrimination. You know, it's they just treat you so much differently.
I was assaulted and bashed by the ticket inspectors. I was just targeted because I was homeless back then. I may have looked like shit. I always try to dress presentable and that, but this day, the train left or whatever, and I just hopped under the boom gates. I was in a hurry, and I kept walking, and they said, "What's the problem?" He said, "I'm failing to produce a valid ticket," and I'll open my wallet and I'll show the police a valid ticket.
Mandatory police checks all the time, you know. I might be walking down the street because I've got a ponytail, and you know, when they don't jerry that I'm in my 50s already, they straight away, you know, pull over and they say, you know, like ID, name, place of address, place of work, you know, the whole 20 yards, you know.
You see the homeless, the ones that are living in the street, for example, some of them look a bit scruffy, they smell, and people think, oh, I don't want to go near them, and they think, oh, they should have a home and a job. Unfortunately, some are like that because some avoidable circumstance, like domestic violence or something. One time, when I was very young, I was waiting for my friends outside this club. This was during the day, and the manager came out and accused me of loitering. I felt a bit awkward, you know, like I didn't realise I looked that way. I was just waiting for my friends.
And they go into a shop and they just get followed around everywhere. You know, you might be in there, you know, legitimately buying some food or whatever, but they'll still follow you around. And to me, that's discrimination.
When I was sleeping out down the lane next to a coffee shop, I woke up in the morning, asked for a coffee. I was going to pay for it, and I was told to move on. If I take my badge into a food court, they go, you can't sit there. You can't bring your badge in. You've got to leave your badge outside. It makes you feel low.
At times it's preyed on me. I will say that, you know, like the trauma of being discriminated against. But I think people feel somewhat threatened, and irrationally so. When I went for the private rental address, I moved in there, and this guy that was staying in the rooming house with me was going to move in there with me as well. He was going to get another flat in the property. There were 2 flats vacant. The real estate agent since then told me that, you know, he'd been blacklisted, that the occupant that I was going to move in with had been blacklisted through other real estate agents as well. They do discriminate against you and they do blacklist you.
I know with a lot of like the private rentals, it's really, really hard, you know, to get into, and I know a lot of people get discriminated against because they're only on the pension.
I had applied for quite a few places and I got turned down, and that is very frustrating. Like, if you're not working and you're on the pension, they think, oh, she's incapable of paying the rent. It's not the case.
I can't because you don't want references, and if you don't have references, because I've only lived in boarding houses, and boarding houses don't give references.
With somebody at work, you know, they'll do it. Somebody at work's got a job, you know, they'll let them in just like that, straight away, you know. They'll let them in. But somebody who's unemployed, oh no, sorry mate, you can't afford it.
I think they're concerned that if these people end up with property or rights or anything like that, it'll be the detriment of the community, to the detriment of the community. It'll be like, if he moves in next door, there goes the neighbourhood.
Everybody's case is different, and it's very hard to bounce back up when you've been kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked.
If someone wants to have a go and wants to get back into the workforce, wants to retrain or whatever, and go to all that effort and then go to a job and then find that just because they're in an unfortunate housing situation that they're not even going to be considered, that people should be accountable for that. You're going to discriminate against them.
Discrimination goes against equal opportunity. So with discrimination, they should also make it illegal to discriminate against people because they are homeless.
I've had a lot of discrimination against me, and I feel that I should be having a go. People should let me have a go, you know, and not discriminate and say I'm a bad person.
Discrimination doesn't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
But I just expect everyone to get a fair go.